Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Corner. We've made it through this week's Marvel books, as well as most of this week's DC books, so now it's time to just wrap things up with our last few DC books. Kicking things off, we've got Batman Brave and the Bold, number 7. I think... Well, we do have one continuing story, Batman Pygmalion. We also have Wild Dog, Here Comes Trouble, and Aquaman Communion, which are both first parts. So, where we left off with Batman Pygmalion, Batman had apparently become amnesic and was found by a young girl in Gotham and taken in by the young girl and her mother being a nurse, and they've been working on, they've been nursing Batman back to health, and Batman has been, helping out and trying to regain his memories, taking on the young girl as his psychic Hoopo. Anyways, so the issue begins with Batman seemingly heading towards the bat signal. He runs into Selina, pointing out he's growing a beard. They banter a bit. Apparently, Selina is, Hoopo's mother, Magdalena, is one of Catwoman's charities. But Batman heads to the signal. Commissioner Gordon's waiting for him. And SWAT shows up. Apparently there was some tech equipment was stolen, the nature of which has not been disclosed, because they're secured the city and the country on many levels. The thief was a lone wolf with very specific skills. State-of-the-art firewall was programmed from the internal network. Millions of dollars worth of security dismantled in 3.5 minutes. And Batman realizes that Gordon thinks he did it. Takes on the cops as they attempt to, as he seems to surrender. Batman ends up asking Gordon what evidence Gordon has, and the evidence is Batman. And Batman do fight it out, as they have before. And the real Batman manages to explain that the fake Batman we've been following throughout the story is a man named Frank Freeman, a hacker and martial artist with an expertise in Jiu-Jitsu, Jeet Kune Do, and Kali, among others. Former Green Beret, Security Special Operations Division that doesn't officially exist. Something happened leading to him going to the private sector. Especially as stealing next-gen hardware by breaking in the most secure government facilities. Doing well until stealing from Wayne Enterprises. But Frank removes the cowl, gives it back to Batman. But then there's gets a call on his wrist communicator from Hoopo. And some men had broken down the door and are hurting her mom. And so Batman tosses Frank the cowl again, so that Frank can save Hoopo. And the real Batman follows as well. And that is where this part of the story ends. Next up, we've got our Wild Dog story. Wild Dog is a Midwestern vigilante, Punisher type. Wears a hockey mask, but apparently he's there's a new crew moving in, and he's waiting for them to make a move. When they do, he goes in, gives his origin. College football player, got injured, joined the military, did some stuff he saw something he didn't want to see or do. Came back and fell in love. Girlfriend was a mob heiress. She got killed. Wild Dog got revenge. So he fights this new crew. High-tech weaponry, the works. And they didn't manage to escape. That particular job kind of ruined. And Wild Dog is served with a cease and desist order by the college. Apparently he wears a shirt with the mascot on it. So he's got to find a new shirt. But his new boss, he's not happy with his people, and that kills on him for their failure. But all the other bosses in town getting together, well, the new boss is going to go after them. Wild Dog asks around. Finds out that an associate of it is potentially working for this new boss. So, someone named Alan. I don't know. I've read extremely little with Wild Dog. I think probably just the only thing I ever read with him was the Suicide Squad Get Joker miniseries. Moving on, though, to the next story, we've got Aquaman Communion. Starts in the Atlantic Ocean. An anglerfish gets caught in a fishing net. Aquaman shows up, saves the angler, and apparently the angler was looking for Aquaman. There's a signal deep in a crevice in the ocean, and which is killing the fish. Aquaman goes to check it out, and an energy blast erupts forth. Hits something invisible. Aquaman fights an armored sentry, is brought further into the cloaked structure. It appears to be a Dominator's base, but turns out that the guard supposedly is actually a gorilla from Gorilla City, trying to save Gorilla City from within this Dominator's base, ship, whatever. And that's where this part of the story ends. Final story for the book is a Batman Black and White story, The Wager. Irish mob guy in Gotham, pretty bad, gotten worse over time. Recently Killed a guy. Recently killed a kid. Batman goes after him, but turns out something worse is after him as well. Etrigan, the demon. Batman and Etrigan argue a bit, and a wager is made between the two of them. Batman is saying if Etrigan gets to the guy first, well, guy's Etrigan's. But if Batman catches him, Etrigan cancels the contract and leaves the city. The woman who made the contract gets injured in a car accident. Batman does what he can to help, and manages to track down the mob, guy from the mob, who's actually quite happy because now, well, the mother of his victim is dead, and so the contract with the demon is over with. But Batman informs him that no, she survived. And so, Batman lets him go. And tells Etrigan, I guess I couldn't catch him, he's all yours. And that is where the issue ends. I especially like the black and white story from this issue. Pygmalion, I did not see that being what happened, how Pygmalion would play out. Not in the slightest. But I'm liking it. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Alan Scott Green Lantern, number 2. Let me just take a moment. I love this cover. This is so cool. Glad I managed to pick it up. Anyways, where we left off, Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern, used to be an Army engineer. He and another engineer who was his lover were working on a project for the Army, seemingly to harness a mythical crimson flame. They managed to find it, but not harness it, and Alan's lover was seemingly killed. A few years later, Alan Scott is the Green Lantern. The FBI is trying to use his the fact of his homosexuality as a means of blackmailing him, and but also a bank robbery has occurred, blackmail him into working more regularly with the JSA. A bank robbery has occurred though, and it was foiled by Alan Scott shortly before Alan Scott arrived on the scene. A dead body was found on the roof of the bank. A man that Alan seemed to know. So, while investigating this, Alan's patrolling in New York with his not so much sidekick, but associate Derby Dickles. He's carrying his lantern battery so that Alan can recharge when necessary. But Alan is talking with him about some of what's going on, as well as some of what he's been through. Namely, how in 1937, after what happened on the boat, Alan checked himself into Arkham Asylum as the captain of the boat realized the nature of the relationship between Alan and Johnny. But since Alan saved everyone, he didn't get kicked out of the military, but he was given leave to cure his sickness. But group therapy, there's apparently a doctor at Arkham who was described at the time as being a highly progressive and largely successful therapy regimen. Alan shares a room with a trans woman named Billy. Billy apparently made found a piece of scrap metal in the metal shop. The only one that wasn't just gray or black, and fashioned into a green train railway lantern, which she gives to Alan. But Billy then gets taken away for therapy. Eventually, one night, Alan hears a voice coming from the lantern, but continues on. Billy doesn't just keeps isn't there. Then suddenly Billy's back, having gone through therapy and clearly no longer trans, and then heading home. And this is the point where Alan, who's actually been trying to get better. This is the point when he says, no, I'm fine the way I am. But his outburst causes the doctor to officially commit Alan. He at least goes through shock therapy, and afterwards organizes a breakout of everyone in the deviancy wing. Apparently they had allies, and they managed to get out of town, so they headed to Colorado. During this time was when the railway accident that gave Alan his powers happened. And he realizes that it seems that, the light, either green or red, seems to be all connected, and somehow also connected to him. And the issue ends with a mysterious caped figure with a red energy field around him, hovering above the city and watching. And that is that's where the issue ends. Which brings us to our last book for the week. The beginning of the newest DC crossover, Titans Beast World. I'll show you the variant cover first, because I love these lenticulars. Beast War #1. Here's the regular variant cover. So, lately, longtime Titans villain Brother Blood has seemingly reformed and become Brother Eternity, much more, and has turned the cult of the Church of Blood into the Church of Eternity, and he is advocating for basically evacuating, but humanity moving to the stars. Stars, it would seem he's likely a bit more familiar with than he's letting on, as he was revealed to be a Tamaranian in the most recent issue of Titans. And he's also been utilizing alien creatures for mind control purposes, such as his attempt at mind controlling Linda Park West by using guards to transfer one of the said mind control creatures to her. So, Brother Eternity is giving a big old speech. He's sent a ship out to the moon of Titan. The idea is that the Church of Eternity will colonize Titan. But the scientists that touch down first discover a temple. The Titans are watching from Titan's tower, and Starfire notes that Brother Trinity is speaking Tamaranian, an ancient Tamaranian. But of course, something happens at the temple, and the Titan Cyborg sends Raven, Donna Troy, Starfire, and himself through a boom tube to Titan. The scientists are gone, but Raven detects a heartbeat. And Starfire explains that Titan isn't a moon, it's a prison for a god. She also says that it can't be fought, and that this god is a conqueror. But the Tamaranian archive is what's needed. Starfire gets it, and the heroes are assembled there at the tower. She explains that it's an ancient enemy of Starro. And in fact, Starro the Conqueror is who defeated it in the first place before it was imprisoned in Titan. But it's called the Necrostar. Superman explains it's an hour away at most. But Beast Boy has a plan. Or at least he thinks he kind of has one. But Batman initially tries to shut Beast Boy down, and Raven shuts him back down instead. And Batman, puts the decision on Nightwing. So he needs the ocean, he needs Cyborg, and he needs time. So the heaviest hitters go to face the Necrostar. Just like a Starro, it makes necrophytes. The ones that Starro makes are called Starophytes. Beast Boy turns for making his way deeper into the ocean. He turns into a whale, and then he makes himself a Starro. Shazam is taken by one of the spores. But Beast Boy was able to make his own Starophytes, one of which frees Billy. And Garo, as he calls himself, takes on the Necrostar. And though he loses one of his arms, Cyborg makes a dimensional rift, and the Necrostar is sealed away in it. A boom tube is open to the Boomerang Nebula, the coldest known place in the universe. And Garo begins to head back to Earth. However, he's stopped before he can read out with Cyborg by Dr. Hate. And Dr. Hate causes the Beast to take control of the boy, to take the driver's seat as opposed to the boy. Dr. Haight is a known associate of Amanda Waller, of course. And so, Garo fights come towards the Earth, with one getting to Black Adam and turning him into a hybrid man-ape, as well as turning everyone else into human-animal hybrids. And that is where the issue ends. And this crossover will be continuing on through January. So, interesting start, though. We'll have to. I think I'm more curious about Waller's plans for Cyborg and Beast Boy. After all, Dr. Haight wouldn't be there if Waller didn't have plans for the two of them. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.